Conference will include government and business representatives. Ditaba Sotetsi, SABC News, Johannesburg.
Recapping a top story this hour, National Treasury says it has issued state-owned rail and ports company Transnet with a support package of 47 billion rand for its recovery plan, including meeting its immediate debt obligations. I'll have your news headlines at 10:30 for SAFM News. I'm Zoleka Kodashe.
Those were the top stories for this hour. Don't miss out on a possible car insurance saving. SMS out to 38462 for a quote. Outsurance, where you always get something out.
Here, there, and everywhere. SAFM 105 FM in Mokopane.
Is your cash flow tighter than a squeeze through the Kango Caves? Make your financial journey smoother by asking Outsurance to save you money on your car insurance premium. If they can't, ask them to pay you 500 Rand cash. That's monthly savings, or 500 Rand cash if they can't beat your premium. Claim free and with the same insurer for 3 years. Ask for 1,500 Rand instead. SMS out to 38462 for an Outsurance car insurance quote. That's out to 38462. Outsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP. T's and C's apply.
Get ready for an adventure of a lifetime with SABC TV Licenses Ultimate Competition. Feel the pulse-pounding excitement of a Bundesliga match live on an all-expenses-paid journey you'll never forget. Or embrace the rhythm of your dreams at the Coachella Music Festival. The choice is yours. A football fan's paradise or a music lover's haven. Simply pay your TV license, then head to www.winnerholidayWithSABCTVLicenses.co.za for a chance to win big. And don't forget, there are incredible weekly prizes up for grabs too. TV licenses. Pay yours. Make a difference.
SV Darmstadt and FC Köln are both faced with the same dilemma. They are navigating a path to relocate from the uncomfortable zone. The Lilies want to impress home fans, but the Billycoats believe they can shine away from home. This is the Bundesliga. Football as it's meant to be. Catch the glittering clash between SV Darmstadt and FC Köln this Friday, 1 December at 9:30 p.m. Live on SABC Sport on DTT Channel 4. Also available on SABC Plus and SABCSport.com. Hashtag We Love It Here. Brought to you by SABC Sport.
For the love of the game.
The Talking Point with Cathy Mohlahlana. Weekdays, 9 a.m. till midday.
It's 11 after 10 o'clock. Welcome to the second hour of the show. Coming up in this hour, we'll be in conversation with the Limpopo MEC for Cooperative Governance, Human Settlements and Traditional Affairs. And we'll be speaking about a number of issues, including, and I think most importantly, traditional leaders, right? The role they play within the community, and specifically the money that has been allocated by the provincial government towards buying traditional leaders that they have described as deserving, right? Deserving traditional leaders, these vehicles and all other support that will need to come with it. Is it justified, and how do we ensure that there is also accountability? If we expect accountability of public representatives that hold office and that are in the employ of the state, surely then we should be expecting the same of traditional leaders, because they very much also are still being supported and funded, at least those that are recognized by taxpayer money. So that's the conversation we'll have in this hour. Before we get to it, lots of your WhatsApp voice notes, and I know so many of you are feeling overwhelmed by the calls that we have received. It's the reason why the open line is your national roundtable, right? On most mornings I come here, I can't always predict or anticipate what it is that you are going to raise as your pressing issues of the day. And today becomes just yet another example of that. So we'll take some of your WhatsApp voice notes and then get into our conversation.
Junzi Mdwaba, one person who makes allegations that ANC members were trying to bribe him. I find it very strange. I think actually it's the other way round. It is he who has been bribed by the ANC to sell us this narrative. And what's at stake here is that ANC is trying to avoid Zondo's recommendations. It's election season. This is nothing more than propaganda and counterintelligence. Some of us will not allow ourselves to be outsmarted by the ANC. This counterintelligence and propaganda is so kindergarten, it will work on the minds of the naive.
Hi, Cathy. It's Judy here from KZN. The woman who works for me went to the clinic in Pietermaritzburg, Eastwood Clinic, because she thought she wanted to be tested for diabetes. She says there is nothing there. If they don't have cards to open a file for you or anything like that. You have to bring a notebook. You have to buy it and bring it. She says there's no muti or medication or anything there. If you've got a cough, they tell you to go and buy honey and lemon, and it's terrible. I think that's a municipal clinic, but please would you have a look at it and ask somebody just to explain what's going on. That's shocking. You know, if we're talking about the NHI, but when the system is broken, what's the point? Thank you.
It's a very good morning, Auskit. Auskit, when it comes to ESCOM and the electricity minister and the president, if you remember very well, just a couple of months ago when we hit stage 6, they said it's a short-term pain and it's a long-term gain. So it seems like things are vice versa now. It seems like it's a short-term gain and a long-term pain. Yeah, thank you.
Morning, Cathy and SAFM listeners. Cathy, can you do us a favor? Ne? Can you please invite Machela Koko so that he can clarify some of the things that even the media was bashing him about? Because now he doesn't have any case now, so he can talk whatever that he wants to say. Is not going to hide behind this thing. It's sub judice and all that. So can you please invite him to the studio or telephonically? I'm sure he's available wherever he's at. He can also advise on this load shedding thing, because last time when he was at ESCOM, these guys dealt with this thing, and these other fellows that are there, they don't know what they're doing. Thanks.
Hi, Cathy. That's a heartbreaking call from Bomela. I mean, even if they made a mistake by sending her that invitation, they could have just run the test and then let her know that she wasn't successful. To call out on a day like that, and it's just the level of unprofessionalism, the level of just lack of care that every single sphere of government is currently displaying. It's heartbreaking.
Siskati, hi. I wore this JCK counter from Sina. Siskati, Dabaya load shedding. We're just fighting a losing battle. Sputla, Portfolio Minister of Electricity, is just a reward of loyalty. Nothing more, nothing less. Ministers and presidents are not affected by load shedding. So why should they care? Why should they worry? If they were affected, I'm telling you, something would have been done. So those people are not doing the will of the people or representing the will of the people. Let me rest my case for now. JCK counter from Stina. Just understand the frustration we are going through. Siskati. Sure.
Hello, Cathy. Good morning. Former Chief Justice Mogoeng seemed to focus more on the CR17 campaign and left out NTZ. On the grounds of morality, he should have mentioned the NTZ because there was immorality there as well. When it comes to Matsala Koko, if he were to sit in judgment, on a case with Matsala Koko, he would surely absolve him because he said there was no load shedding during the era of Matsala Koko. When it comes to Israel, as long as it's a God-chosen nation that is killing innocent people in Palestine, he doesn't seem to care. Kungwali, Kukumbu.
Hello, Cathy. Austin here. Sure. I've been listening to SAFM since 5 a.m. today. I was on the road, and up until now, I can tell you, today is tough, Cathy. People are struggling. I'm telling you, people are not happy. It's tough out there. But this SAFM it's overwhelming today. I'm telling you.
Stand a chance to win your Christmas wishlist from Dis-Chem this festive season. Download the Dis-Chem app, create your wishlist, and you could be one of 100 people to win your wishlist back in Dis-Chem benefit rewards up to the value of 5,000 Rand. Enter before 15 December for a chance to see your wishes come true. Shop and win with Dis-Chem pharmacies. Better health starts here.
EFC is live this Thursday. 3 incredible title fights in one night. The welterweight strap is on the line as Mark Hume takes on Peace Ngopane. And the most dominant featherweight Iga Cabeza faces the only man he has lost to in 6 years, the Pitbull, Ronaldo Exon. Plus, the finishing machine Humphrey King Cobra Malenga takes on Kaleka Kabanda for the vacant lightweight title. EFC 110, watch it on SABC Sport Channel on DTT Channel 4 from 7 p.m. Brought to you by SABC Sport.
For the love of the game.
Conversations that you connect with and react to. SAFM. The Talking Point with Cathy Mohlahlana. Weekdays, 9 a.m. till midday.
Well, let me welcome onto the show Baskopo Magama, who is the Limpopo MEC for Cooperative Governance, Human Settlements and Traditional Affairs. Mr. Magama, good morning to you. Thank you for your time today.
Good morning, Sis Cathy, and to the listeners of SAFM.
You know, we've been talking, of course, about this initiative that your department, alongside the Premier's office, embarked on earlier on in the week. It was an item that was budgeted for earlier in the year, but seeing those cars parked outside Seshego Stadium gave it perhaps the kind of meaning that it didn't have just as a budget item. You've heard a lot of the responses that people have had to it. It's been mixed reactions. What do you make of those responses so far? Both those that are for the move and those that are against it?
Thanks, this Cathy and the listeners. Let me say I observed those mixed reactions. Some are saying it does not worth buying cars for senior traditional leaders, which you will sometimes understand that they will be comparing the needs that we might be having as a country and as a province. But there are those that will understand that we did exactly what they were long waiting for, to see us supporting our traditional leaders, because they value their contributions, more especially in areas where they come from. And I'm one of those that I believe, to those that they understand or they pick the role of traditional leaders. If I were to give you the example of where I come from, as an example, a senior traditional leader in our area has been seen from time immemorial as one person who is leading that. Whoever arrives, whether it's a minister, whether it's a councillor, whether it's a mayor or the president, when they arrive in those communities, the entry point to engage with those communities, it's a senior traditional leader. That's why even in our areas, you will see even schools are named after the names of the traditional leaders that we have in those areas, to show that they associate and align themselves with those people in the traditional councils. That is how I view this, but I felt maybe an opportunity like these ones in the SAFM will give us more time to clarify and people understand, so that we minimize those misunderstandings or those mixed feelings and understand the intention and the purpose of doing that to our institution of traditional leaders.
So what is the intention and the purpose then?
Look, is to make the senior traditional leaders able to play their role and responsibilities within the communities. Like you will understand, and I'm not trying to compare because a traditional leader is there for life and the MEC is there for 5 years. But when I get into the office as the MEC, the ministerial handbook should be able to come there and provide for as to how do I get to have the tools of trade. And as government, we should be able to see that traditional leaders are categorized by this constitution, as public representatives as well. We should be able to see what type of tools of trade should be able to be made available in order to enable them to do their work within their own communities.
My understanding is that it's not the first time that these 4x4 vehicles are being rolled out to traditional leaders in the province. Is that the case?
Exactly, Siskith.
So how many have you issued out before?
We will continue to issue for every senior traditional leaders, even at the previous encounters. We were giving all of them. What maybe is confusing people around this time is that you see 57 houses, 57, I'm sorry, because I'm also responsible for housing portfolio in the province. 57 cars that were given, but at the same time, it's not only those 57 cars that were supposed to be delivered on the whole financial year. We went to legislature and voted for a budget of 55 million to procure 102 vehicles. But I must tell you that it's not only 102 senior traditional leaders in our province. Last year, we might have given about 6, which could not necessarily have received before. So they will not necessarily get the cars this time around, whereas we gave them the 6, or because the cars are still inusable. That's why we are saying to you, it is not gifts. It's not like we are giving you because you're supposed to. We are giving you on the basis that you should have a car that you should be able to utilize to do your day-to-day activities. And we are going to give almost, we have got 204 senior traditional leaders in the province, but it's not all of them. We are also looking at their situation. Like if somebody may not necessarily might be a senior traditional leader, but decided not to be taking up the position of senior traditional leader and appoint somebody else. So those people will not necessarily give car because we are giving recognized senior traditional leaders who should be able to be doing their day-to-day work as traditional leaders.
So, Mr. Makamu, in the lifespan, let's say, of one vehicle that you've given out to a traditional leader, how much does it cost between the time that they're given the vehicle and the time that the vehicle then retires?
Well, you will know, Sis Cathy, that we will depreciate the car and look at the usability of it without necessarily being managed by the ministerial handbook. At least a minimum of 5 years. We should be allowing the cars to still be working. I must tell that there are those senior traditional leaders who got cars during the time of Premier Silomoloto, which was Nissan hard bodies. Some of those cars are still in use, they're still there. It could be that their mileage is far ahead, but they're still in good condition, depending on how they're handling them.
So
it will not...
Yeah, go ahead, sorry.
So it will not be that we sit as a department and manage within our transport mechanism that we evaluate them, we count the kilos they have used. But time and again, as we work with the House of Traditional Leaders and Khoisan, we are able to say, but the last time you get cars was around 2014, and then most of the traditional leaders no longer have cars. They are unable to render their services. Then we start to discuss, but also looking at the funds available and all the processes and the policy provisions get to be followed in order to buy cars.
Who's responsible for the service costs and the maintenance of those vehicles?
We give it to the traditional leadership and their traditional councils to do that, to make sure that the service, whether their tires have worn out, we don't necessarily get in as the department to come and buy. We say, we have given you a car for you to do. As a tools of trade, you should be able to maintain it, take care of it, and we should be able to make sure that they take them to services. We make sure that they also insure the cars. We don't necessarily do that as a department, but we allow the traditional councils with the traditional leaders to do that.
Previously, when you have given out these cars, have you ever done a follow-up study to see the use and the benefit to the community? Because part of how you package it is that this is something that's going to help serve the community.
Exactly, Sisketh. I must tell you, I may not know whether people were able to listen to the provincial chair of the House of Traditional, Wesingobe, when he was briefing the Premier to say, they believe as a house we have made significant progress because we are giving these cars as tools of trade under stringent policy provisions that we have approved and worked with the House. Some of the things, it's when Hoshi is sitting, suppose, in the traditional leaders, we have got disputes. Sometimes Hoshi will be removed from his seat based on the dispute that is there. The car will be come back and be able to be given the one, which was not there before. You will have find somebody was a Hoshi, the family decide to remove. When that person is removed, the new one does not necessarily have a car, will have to hike. The other one say, I can hand over the car. Now we have got stringent. When they were signing for the cars, they were signing according to this policy. We have seen a number of them. Others, they will even, when you bought it, exchange it for something else. Maybe somebody exchange a buggy for a BMW. We have made provisions that is not acceptable, it's not allowed. That car remains the property of a Hoshi and a traditional council. Nobody can be able to move because we are using it as a tool of trade.
All right. Mr. Makamu, we're going to continue the conversation in a moment. It's 10:30. We're in conversation with Baskopo Makamu, who is the Limpopo MEC for Cooperative Governance, Human Settlements and Traditional Affairs.
In your 10:30 news headlines, the Finance and Public Enterprises Ministers have agreed to issue Transnet with a 47 billion rand guarantee facility effective immediately to support its recovery plan and meet its immediate debt obligations. In other news, City Power says their threat to cut off power supply to hospitals was a last resort as they could not get any payments from the Gauteng Health Department for a while. Yesterday, City Power said it was giving the department 4 hours to remove patients from the Charlotte Maxeke Academic Hospital before it switched off power to the hospital. And UNICEF spokesperson James Alder, who is in Gaza, says people are scrambling to get to safety. This as heavy fighting has been reported in Gaza as Israel's military says it has resumed combat operations against Hamas. We'll have your full news update at the top of the hour. For SAFM News, I'm Zoleka Kotashe.
Taking a look at your markets this morning, the rand is currently trading at 18 rand 83 to the dollar, 23 rand 82 to the pound, and 20 rand 51 to the euro. Markets in Asia ended mainly weaker. The JSE is firmer in mid-morning trade. Markets in Europe are up this hour. Gold is trading at $2,040, platinum at $930 per ounce. The price of Brent crude oil is at $80.70 a barrel.
The summer season is here. that means there are more reasons for you to travel and explore Mzansi. South African Tourism, together with the greater tourism industry, are partnering to make travel more accessible and affordable. On our Tourism Thursdays feature on Beyond the Headline, we will be joined by SA Tourism to tell us more about how to travel and get to know Mzansi in a fun and affordable manner this summer season. Tourism Thursday is proudly brought to you in association with South African Tourism.
Banyana, African champions and top 16 team in the world are in action on Monday the 4th of December 2023 at the Lucas Moripe Stadium at 3 p.m. They are on the road to defend the trophy as they face Burkina Faso for the Women's Africa Cup of Nations 2024 qualifiers. Join us to close the year. Tickets are available at Ticket Pro at 20 Rand for adults and free for children under 12 and scholars in uniform. You can also watch the match live on S3 at 3 p.m.
The Talking Point with Cathy Mohlahlana. Weekdays, 9 a.m. till midday.
We continue the conversation on The Talking Point with the Limpopo Coxtra MEC, Baskopo Makamo. So, Mr. Makamo, one of the questions I asked you before we went to news was whether or not you had done any work to try and understand what the impact of the vehicles, especially as it relates to service delivery, has been. The reason I asked that question is because we've had a number of listeners who've called into the program in the past 2 or 3 days that have said, for those traditional leaders that already have vehicles, some of them simply do not use them to fulfill the duties and the obligations that you speak about. So I just want to understand from you how then you weigh the efficiency of the use of these vehicles in relation to the work that traditional leaders do.
Thanks, Sis Cathy. Let me say that that question does not necessarily arise from people far away from the institution of traditional leaders, including myself. It does come. For an example, you find that one Koshi, it's a Koshi in an area where it's a mining area. And the mines which are there, they also pay royalties to the traditional council, and they can be able to afford a car. And if you were to utilize that situation alone, you will say there's no need to buy cars because you can see this Koshi affording to buy cars out of what, or the economic activities that's which happens within their communities. And that it's one thing we consider. But at the same time, there are those that we are discussing in the House, and they deal with number of whole issues, development, service delivery, welfare, and all those other things. And as a result, we come to a determination to say, we need to support, and this is how we should be able to support. So you don't necessarily look at one and say, no, let's sing it out, because when they engage government as senior traditional leaders, they engage them as a collective, as bargaining from one area to say, in order for us to work with you, some of the things we want you to deal with these things.
Yes, but I want to understand what are the services that they are providing, and how do you hold them accountable? As a way of making us, the public, understand why such a cost would be justified.
Thanks, SK. What are the services these traditional leaders are doing within our communities? Let me also first indicate that they facilitate development and service delivery within their own communities. They do have their council. If you can have an opportunity, says Cathy, one day to go to certain mshate, they even present to you a master plan of how they will want their area to be developed. They even share with you What is it that we think the Department of Agriculture can come and do because we have got land in this community? They can even say, we have got a plan to have a township establishment. Can't you work with the municipality? We are prepared to hand over this portion of land that they can be able to proclaim and make it a development so that our people here can get employment. They understand that it is no longer that they should sit and wait for government to provide anything. So there are serious role they are playing. Let me give an example, Sis Keith. You will understand what I'm talking about. If you drive through a road from Elim to Giyani, you will see a mall which has just been constructed in a deep rural village by Dr. Masingita Mike Nkun. If you go there and listen to what the traditional leadership were able to do, they gave the land. They even got some money in their trust. They led a process where they even did a water project, which almost 20,000 people are getting. So you can be able to see that traditional leadership are occupying that space of development, and as such, we should be able to support them so that they can be able to execute their responsibility.
But what happened in that initiative is that, the Masingita group had an idea of bringing development to the area, and they needed the buy-in of the traditional leaders, which they've been able to get. But you can't say that getting buy-in is a significant efficiency marker. So I hear you on what you're saying about facilitating development as service delivery. But if we talk in very practical terms, they doesn't sound to me, at least as far as you've explained, to be clear measures of saying this is the role that the traditional leaders play, and this is how we hold them accountable. We know that they are doing their jobs if 1, 2, 3, 4. We know that they are failing at doing their jobs if we see 1, 2, 3, 4. That's what I'm looking for.
Let me come in there and say to you, it could not be that we don't necessarily have a well-documented measurements of their failures or not. But if the MEC for Sports, Arts and Culture has to get a buy-in or a support of a traditional leader in a particular community in building a library, there are challenges. That will be able to be escalated to the MEC for Coxstar and say, as and when we want to construct or develop the area, we are finding challenge with the community. MEC Makamu, can you come in and make sure that with the senior traditional leaders, we get the support and the buy-in and do that? So this will not necessarily be recorded that you will be able to see them. But wherever a project is to be undertaken by government, we should make sure that the first entry point we get into a senior traditional leader so that even when we get problems, because community members still regard the traditional leaders as their main spokesperson or mouthpiece that they will be able to talk to.
So Mr. Makamu, it sounds to me that part of this initiative is about maintaining a relationship. You want to have a good relationship with traditional leaders. You want to make sure that that relationship is on a good footing, especially going into elections. But more generally, you prefer to just have a good relationship with them. And this is why you have done this, in maintenance of that relationship.
Not really that, Sis Cathy. Like I said initially, you will be so worried. I'm not so sure where you come from. But a person like myself, when there is a IDP rep forum in the Greater Giyani municipality, where my traditional leader was Nkuri, she will be able to go and participate. He does not have a car. He will have to go to the taxi and take a taxi. By the time he arrives in the
what's wrong with taking a taxi?
It's not reliable. It may not necessarily take the Koshi on time there because.
What about all the other people that have to get up in that very area and catch taxis to make it on time for work and their meetings? How are they able to get there on time?
Can I ask a question, Sis Cathy? I know this session is it's made for me to answer. What about if the MEC does not necessarily have a car, he has to go and address, and people arrive there, the MEC is not there? What would be that?
I don't understand the nature of your question.
But what I'm saying is that senior traditional leadership represents even those people that you are talking about. He's not going there because he feels like he should be able to. He represents his own community. It's not like he's going to represent his own family. So as such, he should be given the necessary tools to represent his own community.
So at the end of the day, Mr. Makamu, part of why you are doing this is because, as I've said before, in service and in maintenance of that relationship that you as government have with traditional leaders. Now, my question around how you mark efficiency is still not answered. And I think part of the reason why is because there are no clear mechanisms that government has right now to hold traditional leaders accountable. Would you say that you do? Do you go and hold traditional leaders accountable, those that are not servicing their communities?
Let me say that we have got the house. When we see even a behavior of a Hoshi is not up to what you expect to be a Hoshi, we discuss such and have committees within the traditional House of Traditional Leaders deal with that. It's not necessarily as government, it's on the house. Like I might not have said here, that there is a national house, there is also provincial house, there is local house. They also develop their own standards that they should be able to hold the institution in. And as such, they should be able to. If there is a Hoshi who does not necessarily attend to meetings, they also hold each other accountable that way. It is not necessarily us as government, but in our cases, Cathy, it's just to give them enable resources to be able to conduct their responsibilities. Says Cathy, you can ask me tomorrow, why are we building traditional council offices within our communities? They will have to use it as part, they should be staff to support them there.
All right.
And that is how we view it.
Mr. Makamu, we're going to take a quick break. I'm back with our conversation with him. I'll also be taking your calls on 086 000 2032. That's the number to dial if you want to put direct questions to the MEC on the WhatsApp voice note line 0614 104 107.
SAFM has signed a code of conduct that is enforced by the Broadcasting Complaints Commission of South Africa. Under the code, we are committed to giving news that is accurate, comment that is fair, and programming that is not harmful, does not amount to hate speech, or contain violence or explicit sex. If you think we are not living up to that code, then you can inform the Broadcasting Complaints Commission of South Africa. Direct any complaints in writing to the Broadcasting Complaints Commission of South Africa. PO Box 142365. Craig Hall 2024. Fax to 011-326-3198 or an email to bccsa@nabsa.co.za. For more information, please visit www.bccsa.co.za.
Don't miss out on the SAFM Playwriting Competition. To enter, visit safm.co.za. From the menu icon, select Competitions. Click on the SAFM Drama Playwriting Competition. Read the T's and C's of the competition. Check out the competition's Q&A. Fill in the entry form by clicking the link provided. Email your script to drama@safm.co.za. For further information, email drama@safm.co.za. Entries close on the 22nd of January 2024. SAFM, leading the conversation.
If you're active on social media and love SAFM, we hope you'll take a moment to like or follow our SAFM page on Facebook and Twitter. These are the best places to find all the guest information, conversations, and stories you love from your favorite presenters, along with regular updates from SABC News. And And don't forget, you can send your questions to feedback@safm.co.za. SAFM, leading the conversation. Let's have the conversation. WhatsApp voice notes on 0614 104 107.
Cathy, understanding Hori, maybe this is a service that they have to provide to the traditional leaders. But I'm just wondering about the repurposing of money. Are there no other things that are more urgent than giving chiefs cars? Meanwhile, they already have a salary that they get every month. Are there no other things that the community needs or the country needs which the money can be rechanneled there or repurposed for that?
Elections are around the corner. Now there's a need for traditional leaders to have vehicles. Okay.
Hi, I was Cathy. I would like to greet also Mr. Makama, Baskop, our man from the Limpopo. You know, I think what they are doing is good. Our traditional people have been there in the struggle before we are born, calling them Makonko. So today, because people are from middle class, they derate them as people who don't deserve what the state could give. So I think what Limpopo province is doing is marvelous. They must keep on doing that every 5 years. People suffered and now they are not even recognized. They can recognize the Queen in England and even go in there doing some head-in-hand approach. So what Limpopo is doing is very good. We support it. Give them even money. They must raise their salaries. They are earning peanuts. WP Rams Limpopo.
All right, thanks for those WhatsApp voice notes. The Limpopo Coxtra MEC Baskopo Makamu is still on the line. Stephen, you're on the road. Good morning.
Good morning, my sister. How are you?
Well, thank you, Stephen.
I'm good. It's my pleasure to talk to you. Look, I'm asking myself only one problem. What is the problem when Limpopo giving our chiefs the cars? I don't know what the problem is. So, you know, what I've discovered so far, I'm a truck driver, so then I used to go different places. So then when I check, so then is the problem. Most of the people, they look Limpopo so down. It's been degraded for a long time. So then our government is taking care of only one royal house. So then today is Limpopo. That's why there are a lot of questions. So then I say, pick up to Limpopo, let them do it.
Stephen, you don't remember the questions that were raised about the spending on the Zulu royal household?
Yes, I remember.
And the vehicles that were also rolled out in that province?
Yes.
Yeah, so it's not true to say that their concerns or complaints because it's Limpopo province. I think you see it every time it happens.
Yeah, no. Today Limpopo is on spotlight because just only for the cars, and our chiefs are given the cars. They're not stealing the cars, like our officials. So then they are given. Let us just learn to appreciate once.
All right. Okay, Stephen. Yes.
Please.
All right, Stephen. Thanks for calling in. So it gets your full vote of support. Ntate Masha, you're in Sekhukhune. How are you, Billy?
I'm fine, and you, Melo?
I'm good, thank you.
Hey, we are listening to serious live there. You know, the premier of this province said it clearly in Sepedi. Koloye ga se ya moshadi, se ya kgoshi. So it's their personal car. They are not being regulated by any policy of government. Now, here is an MEC who says, no, when the chief do this, they will take back the car. It does not happen like that. I work here in Limpopo. Staff who works in these national council offices don't have cars to do what they're supposed to be doing for the people. They are giving these cars to chiefs, and not only these chiefs, those whom they prefer. There are chiefs who do not have these cars. Now, it's a problem. They are using these government resources and money to campaign. We don't understand it. Let them give you the policy. How should they give these cars and who they should give to? There's no such a policy.
Well, they say they say they're giving them to deserving traditional leaders, right, Mr. Makamo? It's to deserving traditional leaders.
Who is deserving? Who's not deserving?
Let's ask Mr. Makamo. Stay on the line for me, Billy. Mr. Makamo.
Thanks, Cathy. There are a number of comments which have been made. May I allow to follow those?
I'm going to give you a chance to respond to the others in a moment. I just want you to respond to the issue of criteria. Billy is saying that you're not giving them to everybody, but to those that you choose. And at the event, you also said that you are giving them to deserving traditional leaders.
Exactly that. But I must first clarify the fact that there is an issue that we don't even have a policy. When it's not even the department who's pronounced the policy positions, it's the Hoshi provincial chair. It is not true. If the man, I forget to take his name from Skukune, know a Hoshi that is using the car or misusing the car, it's one thing that we should be able to get out of the lessons and be able to improve on that. That's why I said we were doing. Can I share with you something, Siskith, that we're giving about 57 cars. What we would have used as a criteria to get the first 57, we had to come with a particular mechanism that these are the ones which are there. And we said, let's start with all our female senior traditional leaders who are recognized. And most of them got Khoshikhat Siopela, Khoshikhat Shai, Khoshikhat. We gave them, they were there, they saw it. We said, let's also give those that are leaders within the houses. And we gave them. So there was something that we were following. So to say here that there is nothing, the Premier said this, it's not true. And I think if people want us to share with the policies, we can be able to share. There is no such.
All right,
But
Mr.
also,
Makamu,
I
just
must
hang on.
say it.
Just hang on, Mr. Makamu. Billy, you heard the answer there, right?
It's not telling the truth. It's really economic.
Okay, all right. Billy, out
Tell
of school.
him to give the policy so that we can outline it. That's why they choose it. I'm telling you, the people that have given this cars are those who are working in the House of St. Leaders. People who do not even have access to roads. They are not giving this. They are not getting those cars. There are kids who are living in the mountains there.
Sesketh,
yes.
Can you request for once, Mr. Billy, to also say who is he referring to as the person who has been given a car and those that are not given because they are not liked as a recognized senior traditional leader? Just for us to have, because he may have facts, but if a person generalizes in this space when he is highly affected from Skukune, he can enlighten me as the MEC and consider some of these things, because this conversation is not just point scoring, it's just also to build and clarify certain things. Can he share?
Yes.
Which was she in?
No, you have said by yourself that you only have 72 cars out of 205 of them. Then how do you give them the little that you have? How do you share them?
Okay, here is the policy we are using, or the criteria we're using, not necessarily a policy. We said, let's prioritize those that are leaders in houses. Let's prioritize all female senior traditional leaders. Let's prioritize those that, since they were inaugurated, they have never received a car.
Can you stop there?
So, these three
those who are in houses
are
already
the ones
are earning a lot of money and they've got access to all those
Since
packages.
Cathy, he has
The
left.
protect.
He has left the point he's raising. He's not talking about the salary. I can come to that salary thing.
Okay. I'm going.
So
I'm going to intervene here.
he must
Billy,
accept.
Billy.
If I have clarified him and say, MEC, you have
Okay,
clarified the point.
Mr.
Now
Makamu,
another
I'm
point.
going to ask you. I'm going to ask you to pause it there. Billy, I'm going to give you 20 seconds to wrap up, and then I'm going to let you go.
Please, I go for policy. Analyze or according to this policy, was the criteria correct?
Okay.
There's no policy.
All right.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, Billy. William, you're in Valcom. Good morning.
William, glorious station SAFM. Good morning.
Morning. Go for it quickly, William.
Quickly, just this ANC government is taking people for a ride, and we are no more going to accede. We are going to punish ANC government next year. Thank you, sir.
All right. Okay, William. Short and sweet. Well, maybe not so sweet, given what you had to say about the ANC, so they won't find it sweet, but thanks for keeping it short. Zoe, you're in King Williamstown. Good morning.
Yes, good morning, Kate. How are you?
Good, Zoe. Go for it.
My question is, Makamu still there? The MEC?
Yes, he's on the line.
I'm here. I'm here, my brother.
I want to know, first question, do traditional councils have a budget allocation? The reason I'm asking, we have got the Department of Justice and Correctional Services, all those prisoners there. The money comes from that department, Justice and Correctional Services. You are COCTA and Traditional Affairs. Do traditional councils have a budget allocation? Secondly, I'm educated the way you have created the MEC Makamu, that he cannot give you a satisfactory answer. You ask the question, what is their contribution to the community? Why can't they teach hike like us when we go to, I mean, it's the same case, I'm not in the but what they're doing is the same as what is happening here. And we are in a struggle as a community against something, but I don't want to mention it here now. Yeah, they want to take from the community the contribution that comes from the private sector. They want it for themselves, whereas they do nothing. These people are making traditional leadership a disgrace. But Madam answers nicely to the question, do you have a budget allocation here in Eastern Cape? We are told there are 239 traditional councils. For me, 1 million for 5 years would be okay for traditional councils in the Eastern Cape if they are indeed 239 million, so that they must run their affairs and apply the Public Finance Management Act. That's what they not to want to take from people who are receiving 350s because of the circumstances we find ourselves in.
All right, Zoe. Zoe, out in King Williamstown, there was a point where, of course, we lost part of the connection to Zoe, but his question, is there budget allocation for these traditional councils, Mr. Makamu? It's 11 o'clock, so very briefly for me, I have to go to news.
Thanks.
The Talking Point with Cathy Mohlahlana. Weekdays, 9 a.m. till midday. Independent and impartial. This is SAFM News.
Top stories this hour. Transnet issued with a 47 billion rand guarantee and City Power response to threats against Johannesburg hospitals. Good morning, I'm Zole Gakodashe. The Finance and Public Enterprises Ministers have agreed to issue Transnet with a 47 billion rand guarantee facility effective immediately to support its recovery plan and meet its immediate debt obligations. This as the embattled ports and freight rail entity faces significant operational, financial and governance challenges, including congestion at 3 of the country's major ports. Naledi Ngobo reports.
National Treasury says that Transnet will draw down an initial amount of 22.8 billion rand from the 47 billion rand guarantee facility to deal with immediate liquidity matters such as settling maturity debt. Government says a guarantee framework agreement between National Treasury, Public Enterprises and Transnet will include strict guarantee conditions that will be continuously reviewed and amended if and when necessary.
Democratic Alliance MPL Ngaba Banga has resigned as a party member and as a member of the Eastern Cape Legislature. Banga says he appreciates the leadership for the support they gave him during his time as a member of legislature and as the leader of the opposition. Banga is also a former mayor of the Nelson Mandela Bay Metro.
I have decided to resign in the Democratic Alliance and also in the provincial legislature after more than 10 years I've served in the Democratic Alliance. It's a difficult decision that I had to take. I'm thanking everybody, black and white, colored and Indian people who supported me throughout the journey. And now I'm going back to go and reflect on what the future would look like.
The Department of Water and Sanitation says it will open a criminal case against subcontractors who held officials hostage at a construction site in the Mavambe outside Malamlele in Limpopo. Subcontractors contracted by Baranani Properties at the Nandoni-Nzami bulk water pipeline project held hostage officials from the department and Lepelle Northern Water on Wednesday. The department spokesperson, Wisani Mavasi, says subcontractors were demanding to be paid outstanding money by the main contractor, Baranani.
The Department of Water and Sanitation is gravely disturbed by the situation that played itself at the construction site of Nandoni-Nzami bulk water pipeline project in Limpopo. Contractors subcontracted by Baranani held 3 departmental officials hostage on site, demanding that they be paid their outstanding monies by the contractor. The department had to involve law enforcement agencies to ensure that officials were released after they were held for several hours and will be opening criminal charges against those responsible.
City Power says their threat to cut off power supply to hospitals was a last resort as they could not get any payments from the Gauteng Health Department for a while. Yesterday, City Power said it was giving the department 4 hours to remove patients from the Charlotte Maxeke Academic Hospital before it switched off power to the hospital. The power utility says Charlotte Maxeke Academic Hospital, Helen Joseph, Rahima Musa and Krisani Baragwanath Hospital collectively owe the entity more than 14 million rand. City Power spokesperson Isaac Mangena says they have no choice but to apply drastic measures.
We need to understand that we are running a business as City Power. We pay Eskom billions annually to basically buy electricity, which we are expected to sell to the residential customers, the businesses, industrial customers, also government institutions. And as such, if we are not going to collect as much as we should, then we'll find ourselves in a difficult position operationally. And that's what we find ourselves currently. City Power is basically at the loss. It's in the red.
UNICEF spokesperson James Alder, who is in Gaza, says people are scrambling to get to safety. This as heavy fighting has been reported in Gaza as Israel's military says it has resumed combat operations against Hamas. Israel has accused Hamas of violating a temporary truce by firing towards Israeli territory. The 7-day pause, which was extended twice, had allowed for the exchange of dozens of hostages held in Gaza for hundreds of Palestinian prisoners and facilitated the entry of humanitarian aid into the shattered coastal strip. Alder says if there is no urgent help for the people of Gaza, many will die.
Everywhere is full. I can't overstate that. So let's just take one place, the Khan Yunus Technical College, which should have 500 students learning all the skills for young people. It's got 30,000 people sleeping there. The hospital I'm in has double capacity for people with injuries and has thousands more, 5 times that number, sleeping here seeking safety. So they've been here for the last week, A, for safety, but also just for the cold. It's cold, it's starting to rain.
Recapping a top story this hour, the Finance and Public Enterprises Ministers have agreed to issue Transnet with a 47 billion rand guarantee facility effective immediately to support its recovery plan and meet its immediate debt obligations. We'll have your news headlines at 11:30 for SAFM News. I'm Zoleka Kotashe.
The Talking Point with Cathy Mohlahlana. Weekdays, 9 a.m. till midday.
It's 6 after 11 o'clock. It is the Friday wind down. We're going to be getting into that shortly. Before I do, I would like to give the Limpopo MEC, the Coxter MEC, Baskopo Makamo, an opportunity to respond very briefly to some of the issues raised by callers in the previous hour. Mr. Makamo, thanks for staying with us. I'm going to ask you to keep it as brief as possible, but you heard the general concerns that have been raised, and ultimately it comes to accountability and whether or not this is truly money well spent.
Thanks very much, Sis Cathy. Let me start with the one for Zoe from King Williamstown, whether are we transferring money to the traditional councils as budget, either on a month-to-month basis or annually? As for the province, we are not necessarily doing that, but we are making sure that the monies that are collected as levies within traditional leaders are utilized after our approval in the province to make sure that they follow the Public Finance Management Act. But also to appreciate the inputs made by other callers and voice notes that shows that definitely they appreciate what the government did. We can see that they saw us when we were struggling with our senior traditional leadership in the province, assisting us during the COVID-19. They were there to make sure that their communities are protected. We have seen, since I became the MEC, how traditional leaders played a role when there were unrest around areas of one. Senior traditional leaders who were on the lead trying to make sure that there is peace in that area. Province of Limpopo is called a peaceful province, mainly because traditional leaders continue to play that role of social cohesion within our communities. And as such, we appreciate and work with them towards that. Including during disasters, says Cathy, whenever you get into a community, in this case, you will find that when the councillor and the senior traditional leaders already have visited the family, try to help them and comfort them and work with the community to resolve a challenge. That's why you will find traditional leaders leading how a person will be assisted. By the time the MEC arrives, traditional leaders will have gone there. So as part of the work we are doing, we have listened to the concerns that those are saying that maybe. But one thing I can assure you, says Cathy, the timing is not necessarily vote buying like other people will take. It is a well-planned activity that happens.
All right.
Buy cars because we're campaigning. We will continue to campaign. We will continue to build houses. We will continue to provide services for as long as we are still within the mandate. If the mandate says something after the elections next year, there it be. But as for now, we are doing our work as the elected leadership of government, as we are supposed to. Thank you much.
All right, Mr. Makamo, we'll leave it there for this morning at the Limpopo Coxter MEC. Well, it is still Friday. It is still the wind down. Joining us for the Friday wind down today is DJ Sbu and Tina Ado. That conversation coming up shortly.
Banyana Banyana, African champions and top 16 team in the world are in action on Monday the 4th of December 2023 at the Lucas Moripe Stadium at 3 p.m. They are on the road to defend the trophy as they face Burkina Faso for the Women's Africa Cup of Nations 2024 qualifiers. Join us to close the year. Tickets are available at Ticket Pro at 20 Rand for adults and free for children under 12 and scholars in uniform. You can also watch the match live on S3 at 3 p.m.
The Portfolio Committee on Communications and Digital Technologies invites interested individuals and stakeholders to submit written comments on the SABC bill. The bill seeks to repeal the Broadcasting Act of 1999 to regulate the continued existence of the SABC, to provide its governance, to amend the ICASA Act of 2000 and the Electronic Communications Act of 2005. For more information, contact the Portfolio Committee of Communications and Digital Technologies by emailing sabcbill@parliament.gov.za, directed to Hanjiera Sali. The Friday Wind Down. Kick off your weekend the right way.
will be. Early in the morning, I will be. When the sun comes out, I will be. Hey you, I will be. Wherever you may go, I will be. Wherever you may stay, I will be. When you call on me, I will answer you. When you need me, I will be there. I will be there. Ooh, I will be there. I will be right there, 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 wherever you will go, I will follow. Wherever you will stay, I will follow. Your world will be my own. Your lane will be my own. Your guide will be my guide. I will be there, there, there. Yeah, I will be there, there, there. Yeah, I will be there, there, there. I will be there, there, there. I will be. Said I will be there, I will be. Oh yeah, I will be. Oh
And that is DJ Spoo featuring Tina Adore. They're both in studio with me. It is the Friday wind down, your favorite part of every week, because that's where we get to just put our feet up and leave a little bit of the serious talk and get ready for a weekend. DJ Spoo was saying that this is not only the long weekend, it's the long weekend of the rest of the year. So we'll only come out of this weekend in January when we're back from the holidays. DJ Spoo, good morning. It's such a pleasure to have you
Morning,
in studio.
Cathy. I'm very happy to see
Since
you.
when do you call me Cathy? Hi, Bo.
Okay, Cathy, I'll say that. It's just out of respect. It's just out of respect.
It's such a pleasure to have you in studio. Always great being able to speak to you. And I'm excited to speak to you about the projects that you've been working on.
Yes, ma'am. I'd like to say hello to the listeners. Dumelang, Sanbonani, Ndimacheroni, Bovoahani, Khuyemora. It's a Friday to the festive season.
Yes.
Today. The Monday will be Chanawar. So we're going to have a long weekend. A month-long weekend. So today it's a Friday to the actual weekend. I'm humbled to be sitting next to amazing African queens I've watched your career, Cathy, from when you started, and just how you've mushroomed and just became this amazing figure on our television screens. And there I was watching my favorite presenter last night on television, and then you're telling us that it's your last show. What's going on with you before we start with us? Are you leaving us on TV?
No. I'm not doing that. But you see, he's so used to being behind the microphone. Now he's interviewing me instead of me interviewing you. Well, guess what? You're not going to get away with that. You're not going to win. It's to be continued. ...
Okay, man. ... But wherever you're going, we know that you're going to flourish. They say you must build your own garden to attract the bees. Or you to attract the, what do they call it, butterflies, right? You build your own beautiful garden. And you've done that with your career.
Thank
I
you so
guess
much.
Wherever you're going is even a bigger step. And may the good Lord bless you and all the best with your future in broadcasting.
Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate that. And I receive all of those well wishes. You are no stranger to South African public life and even South African radio. So the special guest that we have is actually Tina Ador.
Yes, ma'am.
Tina, you coming all the way through from Nairobi, Kenya. You've been working with DJ Spoo on this project. In fact, we were playing your single, I'll Be There. Welcome to SAFM. Should I also be saying welcome to South Africa?
Yes.
But
yes.
Tina, it's a pleasure to have you in studio.
Thank you so much, Cathy. It is my first time in South Africa.
Yeah.
It's a big, country, big cities. I'm just, it's kind of shrinking here and there. But it's beautiful. I've enjoyed my time so far. And thank you for having me on your show today.
Let's talk about, firstly, this collaboration that has been taking place between yourself and DJ Spoo. And to me, it actually speaks to something bigger that we've been seeing in our entertainment industry. Just the fact that we're breaking down borders when it comes to the creative arts and making sure that the music that is being produced is not just solely South African or solely Kenyan or solely Nigerian. We're seeing a lot more collaboration between artists across the continent than we were before. Would you agree with that?
I would definitely agree with you. I love the fact that we're collaborating as Africans a lot. I think music really is a special way of communicating, spreading love, spreading unity with one another. And if Africans and the rest of the world communicate through music, I think that's a blessing. That's a big thing. And it's amazing that I got to collaborate with DJ Spoo on this one. I think he's been really loud about it, about that, the fact that he is also trying to break the boundaries and just, go beyond South Africa and even Africa at the end of the day. Kenyans are known to work a lot with South Africans, actually, especially...
There are many South Africans that live in Kenya, right?
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And also, like, in the dance scene in Kenya, we really do bring a lot of South Africans through, and it's, like, not... It's almost not new, it's not a strange thing that, we find South Africans and Kenyans working together a lot. But yeah, so this was one of those opportunities for me, and I'm happy that I got to jump on the project. And it is what it is. It's a big thing, and I'm happy about it.
Well, in a moment, I hope you'll tell us a little bit more about yourself, your home country, and a little bit of your music career and how you ended up in this collaboration with DJ Spoo in the first place. It is the Friday Wind Down. Our guests for the Wind Down today, DJ Spoo and Tina Ador. We'll continue the conversation after this break.
Ford is turning 100 and there's never been a better time to buy a brand new Ford. We're giving away 100 vouchers worth an amazing 50,000 Rand each and the sensational grand prize of us paying for one lucky winner's Ford. It's the celebration of the century. Visit a Ford dealer, buy a new Ford and win. T&Cs apply.
Arsenal FC is only interested in rising to the summit.
Oh, what a finish by Zinchenko! Tremendously taken!
Meanwhile, Wolverhampton Wanderers also want a decent position in the top half.
Sasha collided into the bottom corner, and Wolves finally lead in the...
Will the Gunners of London keep their fans delighted, or will the Wolves have the final say? This is the Premier League. Catch the spectacular clash between Arsenal AFC and Wolverhampton Wanderers on Saturday, 2 December at 4 p.m. live on S3. Also available on SABC Plus and SABCsport.com. We love it here. Brought to you by SABC Sport. For the love of the game.
The Friday Wind Down. Kick off your weekend the right way.
I wonder where that song takes you back to, right? it seems entrenched in an era of our lives. Of course, it was produced by DJ Spoo, and you'd hear the very familiar voice of Zahara in that. But you've worked with a lot of artists over the years.
Yes, ma'am.
And I suppose it speaks to what you're able to do as a producer, your versatility as a producer. What do you look for when deciding who to work with and collaborate with?
It's a really good question. I think when I was young, I was attracted to different things maybe as opposed to now. And the reasons that I make music now, as I've just started recently, this is like my beginning of making music again, re-emerging sort of in the marketplace, in the music space. The motivation is different now. I'm more guided by umoya, by the spirit. I'm guided by the type of individual that I'm going to work with, their energy, what they represent, who they are, where they want to go with their careers and just their talents. Just apart from the talent, right? Your energies have to connect. There's some incredible people that I've worked with in the past where even after the work is done, the energies, you try as much as you can to build a relationship, to build a long-term solid relationship with this collaborator that you've just collaborated on the music. But you find that the energies, man, they're probably not feeling you, or you're not feeling each other, and it's like you end up feeling like you're forcing this friendship.
So what were you looking for before?
You
said it's different now.
Yes.
What were you looking at before?
Before, I was looking at the talent. It's just the talent. Can she sing? Does she have that the potential? Right? And then you work with other people who are already established. But right now, yes, it's still that, but also with umuntu na, you know, and I found Tina to be that. I think she's going extremely far. When I listen to her voice, I think of Sade. I think of those types of voices. And then I experience her humility. I experience her family. I experience her looking after me in Kenya for a week and me just staying there, the places she took me to, and just how she interacts with other people. She's just a young person, an African sister that wants to spread a message to the world. And she is incredibly talented. I'm just blessed to be working with her. So it's a bonus that she's not only talented, but unobuntu.
All right. We're in conversation with DJ Spoo and Tina Ador, who is really the guest that we're welcoming to South Africa and to SAFM, and the project that she's collaborating on with DJ Spoo. We'll continue to hear more from Tina in a moment. For now, it's 11:30. Time for your latest news headlines.
Thank you very much, Cathy. A very good morning. With the news headlines, the Finance and Public Enterprises Ministers have agreed to issue Transnet with a 47 billion rand guarantee facility effective immediately to support its recovery plan and to meet its immediate debt obligations. The DA's Ngababanga has resigned as a party member and as a member of the Eastern Cape Legislature. And UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres has told world leaders that the burning of fossil fuels must be stopped immediately. A full news update coming up at midday.
The Talking Point with Cathy Mohlahlana. Weekdays, 9 a.m. till midday.
Celebrating our music heritage right here on the Friday Wind Down.
Well, it is the Friday Wind Down, and we continue to lead the conversation right here on SAFM. So, Tina, one of the things that I want to do, just with the opportunity of having you here in studio, we as a country, and I also think as a region, because of the economic challenges that we're facing, the socio-economic challenges actually that we're facing in our societies, there's been a lot of emphasis on looking at each other based on which tribe do you belong to, which country do you belong to. And the minute I say I'm South African and you're from Kenya, then there's an automatic othering that comes in. And we've seen a lot of that in South Africa recently. But I think it's important that we share stories of who we are, where we're from, because once we realize that there's so many commonalities that we share, it's easier to break those boundaries. And I think music actually presents a beautiful opportunity to do that, because we dance to songs without necessarily knowing who produced this music, where did they come from, what was their upbringing.
I do agree with you. For us in our country, in Kenya, when you say you're from a different country, it's not a problem. It's like, oh, wow, welcome to Kenya, Karibu Kenya. That's not an issue. For us, I think as a country, what we kind of had to get over is now the tribal side of things. Like, what part of the country do you come from? And then you say your surname and they're like, you're from those guys. Which, like, was a big problem in the past. Like, it even caused a civil, crisis. Like, there was a lot of fighting back in 2007. After the elections, it was really bad. But Kenyans really took that as a lesson and said, we don't care now where we're from. We are all Kenyans, we're all one blood. And yeah, we really don't have that right now. At least it's because I think this new generation as well, they don't think about, I'm from where, because also this new generation, people are not even remembering, their cultures and stuff like that. So it's really difficult to profile people according to where do you come from, where do you what. Everybody's just living as people, So I'm really glad that we went through that and over that, and it's continuing to phase out. When it comes to welcoming guys from other countries, we're really open to you're from Uganda, oh wow, South Africa, wow. Kenyans are known to be very warm, so we do welcome everybody into our country. Like, if you visit Kenya, you will get out there saying, wow, Kenyans are very warm. You will not find any hostility from guys, especially if you say where you're from.
When you think about your music and who your influences and your aspiration and the people that you aspire and look up to have been, what would you say where would you say rather that comes from?
So I'm the type of artist that gets inspiration from different places.
Yeah.
I really don't have one solid place where I get my inspiration. But, there's been some legends that I've looked up to and said, I wish I could do that. And Miriam Makeba is one of them. Like, her stage presence, her music, I just look at it, I'm just like, please, can I just, Lord, get me there, type of thing.
Yeah.
There's Yubo Gada, who is a Kenyan from Luo Nyanza. He plays this instrument, this traditional instrument called the nyatiti. His music has played globally. Like, when we used to call this world music type of stuff, where Africans would go to a European country and Europeans would be like, yay, Africa type of thing. So he's one of the guys also he even made me start learning the instrument nyatiti. It's a very beautiful instrument, 8 strings only. It's really nice. Other inspirations are honestly, almost all over the place. Yeah. Why lie? Because for me, it's not entirely about just looking at one person, because I want to reinvent myself. I want to be unique in myself. So I can't really have a single source of this inspiration. I really borrow and just get inspired by whatever. Even Latin music, I get inspired by that, which is weird. If you look at my Spotify Wrapped, it's just mad.
So then how do you decide what sound you want to go for when you're collaborating?
That's a very good question.
Yeah.
She's an old soul. If you speak to her brother, I've been blessed to meet her brother, MGM Kenya. Shout out to you, my brother, wherever you are. I like that because he's taken his sister under his wing. He's a very big DJ, radio DJ in Kenya, and he also releases music, the music producer. And when they play together. She's not only a songwriter and a singer, she's also actually a DJ. She is an old soul. She grew up on Kwaito music. Let her tell you more about South African music.
Kwaito music in Nairobi.
Yes.
Who? Which artists?
Just to mention a few that always come into my mind. There's DJ Cleo. I was a huge fan of Cleo's music.
Oh, you should have been here about a month ago. We had him in studio.
Yeah.
Congratulations to Cleo.
You would have lost your mind.
Proud of him.
Yeah.
Cleo and Kent and all those guys. That's when, because I came from an era of listening to just the usual electronic dance music from Europe. And then I heard Kwaito and I was like, wait, Africans are making house music. What is this? And since then, I kid you not, I have not gone back to the usual EDM. I've just been like, yes, it's Africa, we're doing this thing. And then getting into my music, singing, because I started officially in 2017, I realized, wait, this South African vocalists are singing in their own mother tongue, in Zulu, in Xhosa, which I hope I've said correctly.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I think I want to get into it, but what do I sing in? And I decided, wait, there's nobody in East Africa doing this, like, for real, like, in a big deal. And I decided, hey, I have my mother tongue. I have, like, 40 dialects surrounding me. So I incorporate as many as I can into my music. I sing in my mother tongue, the Luo, Kikuyu, Swahili. I know South Africans think I sing in Swahili. I don't. I mean, I only sing it like 1-2 times.
Yeah.
It's not Swahili. It's like my mother tongue. But it's fine if you call it Swahili.
And what did you find to be the reception when you did that, singing
Kenyans
in
love
all
it.
of these different dialects?
You see, this is also one way that I found is best to grow the industry in Kenya, especially the house music industry in Kenya. You tap into what people relate to. So you tap into their language, and then they ask themselves, what genre is that? And now you introduce them and you tell them, this is house music, this is Afro house. And that's how we are getting more people to love the genre, because the genre, honestly, in Kenya is not as big as it is here in South Africa. So that's what I've been trying to do by singing in all this vernacular. So guys are like, hey, I think I love these beats, you know, because they call them beats. Yeah, I think I love this. I think I love that. So they love it. They do enjoy it when I sing at, events, concerts, even family functions.
Yeah.
Oh, family loves it. They're like, no, sing that song. And usually, actually, I take traditional music that we sing at our traditional ceremonies and now revamp it and rework it into house music.
So then it wasn't difficult for you collaborating with somebody like DJ Spoo, because a lot of the sound that he was already producing, you would have been familiar with.
I was.
So it was just about bringing your own sound into that.
Exactly. That's exactly what it was. For
Yeah.
me, it was like, I love this. Let's go. Let's hit it off. I think that song was done in like a week, honestly. That's how much we clicked and got things moving. That's what I do, and that's what I love doing.
Spoo?
We just started recording even more music, and then we decided to rather drop an EP. So by the end of the festive season, you'll have an EP out to get into 2024 and start a brand new year. She's incredible. She's talented. She is amazing songwriter. She's conscious. King Wanamudimu. She loves God, and that's what I love about her. She loves God, and her humility. Her humility says to you, without her saying much, it says to you, Brega, calm down. This is where we are.
I'm sure there'll be lots of people to hear that you're getting calm influences and inspirations, Spoo. We're going to take a quick break. It's the Friday wind down. I'm in conversation with DJ Spoo and Tina Ado, who is a Nairobi-based artist but has been working with DJ Spoo, and we're bringing you some of the latest music that they've been putting together. In fact, we kicked it off with their latest single. More on this conversation after this.
It's the celebration of the century, and you're invited. We've already given away almost 3 million rand with 56 daily vouchers won. Buy a new Ford before 31 December and you could win a 50,000 rand voucher or the grand prize of us paying for your new Ford. Visit your nearest Ford dealer today. T&Cs apply.
Various African outfits will display a great brand of cricket this festive season. Kenya, Ghana and Cameroon will play their hearts out in the East-West qualifier of the BNP Group Africa Cup T20 2023. They will all endeavour to clinch one of 4 remaining spots. This is the journey to the finals of the BNP Group Africa Cup T20 2023. Witness the thrilling action from 5 to 10 December, live on SABC Sport on TTT Channel 4. Also available on SABC Plus and SABCSport.com. Proudly brought to you by SABC Sport.
For the love of the game.
World AIDS Day. We are all reminded in commemoration of this day to continue the fight against stigma and discrimination. HIV and AIDS are chronic diseases. People living with these diseases can have a happy and full life. We each have a responsibility to treat this disease with compassion.
SAFM leading the conversation. Let's have the conversation. WhatsApp voice notes on 0614 104 107.
Good afternoon, Cathy. This is Zanele in Durban. Good afternoon to Tina. Welcome to South Africa. And Good afternoon, DJ Sbu. Hey, inja, ipoza. DJ Sbu, uyangikaza wethu,
Nami uyangichaza.
I used to look at that picture that keep on trending on social media where you are wearing a big jersey and one of the social media users said the other day, hey, but I like how you portray yourself. And what I like the most about you, DJ Sbu, is that you are the hustler and you taught me to hustle. I'm hustling right now. Thank you, guys. Have a nice weekend.
That is so
That was
humbling.
lovely.
Siyabonga. Magwande siswa, magwande, mabukhanye, makupope, phumelela siyabonga.
Good morning, Cathy. Your team, great show always, Cathy. Always good show. We're gonna miss you. Good morning to your guests, DJs. Ooh, aye, Tina, aye, keep it up, guys. Spoo. Somebody here's a truck driver. You know what you did to take Tina in your project? It shows that we are one. We are all Africans.
Sure.
So guys, keep it up. We support your music and groom other young stars who have the talents. Oh, wow. We need more music to entertain us.
Love you too.
Okay.
Love the soul that it just spoke with.
All right, Uncle JJ. Let me go to Sydney. Sydney, you're out in Acornhook. Good morning.
Good morning, my sister Cathy. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Yeah, sister. Brother DJ Blue, thank you.
Morning to you. How are you doing?
I'm fine. I'm okay. I'm just fine. I wish music was, the spelling of music was like it was some years back, where each and every music shopping complex, we had a music record bar. It is no more there. That's my worry. But thank you. You're a master producer.
Thank you, my brother. God bless you.
Yes. Sister,
Tina.
Welcome in our country. Yes, Tina.
Yes.
Welcome in our country.
Thank
South
you
Africa.
so much.
Yes, we are at home, away from home. It's okay. Feel just fine. We are here.
Thank you.
And
I feel home.
On your return to Kenya, he doesn't know me, but I love his music. Eric Wainana.
Eric.
Tell him that in South Africa there is a guy by the name of Sid, Libo. He's mesmerized by your music. I had to buy his music online. I've got at least three of his albums. I have them, but I bought them online.
Yeah.
He makes me love music when he sings. His projection of his voice, Eric Wainana.
Yeah, Eric is a legend. I will figure out how to pass your regards.
Yeah. By the way, there's a guy in South Africa, Sydney. He's mad about your music. So mad.
All right,
Go
Sydney.
Sydney. We love you. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
Love you too, Sydney.
Yes.
All right, Sydney. Sydney is out in Acornhook. I wanted to talk to you both about just a little bit of what goes on behind the scenes, because it's great to work on a production together and put out a project that you're really proud of. But I would imagine that in and of itself is not without challenges, especially if you're trying to do it across borders. What are some of the challenges that you would say you have encountered, or maybe even just the lessons you have learned on this journey that you would be comfortable sharing with others? Tina, I'm going to kick it off with you.
I mean, I think for me, on a general basis, there are always challenges, of course, when it comes to collaborating. Some of it is deciding on the best version of a song, because it's back and forth on emails, on WhatsApp, on what. It's like, no, change this, no, change that, no, don't change this. No, but I like it, no. Then you need somebody else, a third party, to confirm, to vote which one it is. Sometimes just communicating what exactly you want over the phone can be a challenge. But again, working with the right person, you find yourself, you know, the communication is seamless. You understand each other, you know, the vibe hits, you know, exactly where yours hits. But yeah, on a general basis, like that's some of the challenges you will find. Or you try and show this is what we want to do with this, and then it's like you're not on the same page, kind of thing. It happens.
Does it make it longer? Because some of the things that you're talking about, I imagine, is easier if you're all in the same studio and in one place, and so it doesn't have to be what seems like a back and forth conversation.
It does sometimes take longer, but you find guys who've been doing it for a while, they get used to it, we get used to it. So you can be done with a project in a week, in 3, a month, a year. It can go up to a year, trust me, depending on who you're working with. So the challenges really vary depending on who you're working with.
All right.
And there's different ways also of working together, as you're saying. You can either be in one room, or you can do some things online or remotely, separate from each other. And then when you do get together, you can, finish off the work, and then maybe even create more work. Finding other people where you sort of gel. You probably just had a plan to just do one song, like we did with Tina, and then the energies, we just connected, and I just loved her talent. She was very positively receptive to my energy too, and we decided to make even more songs. We decided to create an EP. So we've got an EP of about 4 or 5 songs coming out this festive season. Look out for it. It's going to be on all your musical platforms. She's incredible. She's an amazing writer. She does if you listen to the few songs that she's done with her career where she is now, she's been on Afro house songs, Afro tech songs, deep house songs, vocal house songs, different types of songs. And I like the fact that she doesn't box herself and say, I'm a vocalist. She is a fully fledged musician who's coming to her being, who's still young, who still has got a lot of things to learn. But what I see in her, I see a legend in the making. She spoke about Mama Miriam Makeba. That's what I see in the future with her.
Yes, Tina is saying amen to all of that. So Sbu, just again, going back to the issue of collaboration, is it hard to find people to collaborate with? And by this I mean, do you have to travel? Do you have to have been in Nairobi, Kenya to have met Tina? Or because of the way that technology is set up these days, it's a lot easier to make those connections and reach out to people.
Yeah, reach out to people, DM people. I was just telling her this morning. So as much as we're co-collaborators, I'm also like a big brother to her. But she's also somebody who teaches me new things as well. So I was saying to her, get that blue check. Because she's still new, right? On her Instagram. It's like, yeah, but do you have to pay for it? I'm like, it doesn't matter. Just get that blue check. And what it does, it gives you an opportunity, even if you're in a different country, you can always DM other musicians from other countries. When you've got a blue check, automatically the algorithms take your messages to the top of their DM list. And they're most likely going to see your message. They might not respond, but because you've got a blue check, they most likely might respond. And that's how you can collaborate with other people. But then for people like me who travel a lot, like her as well, as you travel, you meet other people, you create, you make new relationships, and maybe just on the go as you're moving, you make music as you go. And then some songs you release later, some of them you keep them. There's different ways on how you collaborate with people, but as you travel, you meet you might even be at a gig where you meet other people, where you jam with them, and then maybe even after the gig they want to go to the studio, or they just want to exchange contacts. And me being somebody who's been traveling all these years, and now also having aspirations of taking my business overseas and my podcasting work overseas, and I've been doing some deals with some overseas podcasters. It's the same thing where I want to collaborate with other people who think like that. Not the beneplas, man. Even the beneplas, let's no, man, guys, there's a big world out there. We've got a beautiful sound called Amapiano that's opening doors for all of us all over the world. But it doesn't mean we can all do Amapiano. What's nice is that it brings the eyeballs into the continent, and then let's offer them what we are about. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be Amapiano.
And the point that Sbu, that you're raising there is such an important one. The fact that there is an opportunity to shape the world that we want to live in.
Yes, ma'am.
And that exists in the industry as well. It exists musically as well, because just by virtue of a collaboration, you now have entry points into places that may have been harder.
It's
because
true.
you come into South Africa and you don't have to decide, you don't have to figure out, well, how do I promote my music? Where can I go for interviews? Because you're working with somebody who already is established. Have you found that to be the case in Kenya as well?
I have, but I mean, in the case of collaborating and how to meet people, if I may just comment
Sure,
on that.
go ahead.
of course, traveling can be expensive. It is expensive. We cannot all afford to just be moving around. But the internet is your friend. It really is. For me, what I look out for in the internet when people reach out to me and all that stuff is how you present yourself, how you ask to collaborate. There are people who just like, hey sister, and that's it. Like, I don't know you, I don't know where you're from, so why are you just writing?
It's giving creepy vibes, right?
Exactly. It's giving creepy vibes. But you'll find somebody who has probably been working on their own stuff, and then they holler at you and they write, hi, my name is this from this. I've been working on this kind of music and I would like to, what are the terms? So you look at that and you're like, okay, at least this guy is professional, and then you take a chance on that. So I feel like a lot of upcoming producers kind of, don't see that as important as how you approach people to work with. Because when you're starting out and you want to work with these names, you really have to do what you can. And if you can't go to Instagram, if you can go to Twitter, if you can go to Facebook and DM these guys, then do it, and then build from that, and then make sure the project is, well packaged, release it well, market it as much as possible. Because if that project does well, it catapults you to the next and the next and the next. And now people will be looking at you like, because there are guys who, for example, DM'd me like in 2017, and they were not like professional, they were not like whatever, but they got themselves working on one project, the other project, and it made their name something. And now I can look at that and say, I love that. I'm glad that you were able to bring yourself from that position, and now we can talk on the same, kind of page, kind of language. And for me, that's where I would advise upcoming producers or singers to start from. The way you present yourself online is a big deal.
Okay. And maybe let me also contribute to say this collaboration for me says a lot about South Africans. I was saying to her, she mustn't believe the hype of the negative word xenophobia when it goes out there, and we fall into that trap of forgetting how loving, amazing and incredibly warm South Africans are. I was making an example of other younger guys like the likes of Abu Shasha, Abu Uncle Waffles, who are not South African, but you can swear they're South African because of how much we love them. I was making an example even about our legends. Oskido, I made an example about DJ Fresh. We even forget that they're actually not from here. But because we are such a loving nation, yes, we've got problems like any other country, but I love these types of collaborations because they also speak to that as to what type of a people we are.
And we have to be intentional about reminding each other of that.
Yes, ma'am.
Otherwise, the narrative of South Africans being anti-immigrant and anti-foreigners,
and that is not true,
as we call them.
Yes.
It is not true in terms of what the lived reality of everyday South Africans is. I want to take Mohlahlana. Mohlahlana, you're calling us from Midrand. Good morning.
Yes, how are you, DJ Spoo?
I'm good. How are you doing, Mohlahlana?
Oh, Mohlahlana, you don't even greet me. You go straight to DJ Spoo. Okay, it's fine. Go for it.
DJ Spoo, are you in any way related to Mzege Zege?
No, I'm not. I'm not related, but we're from the same hood.
No, Mohlahlana, please ask DJ Spoo to tell us the truth today. We give him an opportunity to come clean with the nation.
Let him
a once-off opportunity to come clean with the nation once and for all.
So till today, you guys still think I'm Zegazeg? Till today?
Not we think. We know.
Oh, Mzix, man. Great memories, man.
We know.
I'll listen to your answer on this one. Yes, I'm listening.
No, but I'm not Mzegazeg. But thank you very much for bringing up that name. It puts a smile to my face because I'm called that every day wherever I go.
So what's your relationship with him?
We work together on the same label, TS Records. Yeah.
Can you call him now on the phone for me?
I don't think. Yeah, I can call him, but I don't think he'll answer. I don't know. But I can call him. I don't know. I can't be fooled.
All right, Mohlahlana. Thank you so much for the call. I want us to also, oh geez, the time has gone by, but I want to play some of Tina's music as well before we leave. Let's talk about what you're going to be doing in South Africa, any particular projects that you want to put out to our listeners so that people can come out and see you if you have concerts. We'll allow artists to do that on this particular slot because that's what it's about, promoting the arts. So go for it.
So currently I do not have a show. We were to do a very huge show this weekend, but we have decided to postpone it for next year because it's going to be bigger and better for next year. So currently I'm just focusing on doing studio with different producers who are my friends actually, so I can't wait to meet them in their homeland. That's exactly what I'm doing.
All right, fantastic. It's been such a pleasure to meet you. Thank you so much for coming into studio, and I really hope that you enjoy being in South Africa and keep coming back. And you tell good stories about us when you go back to Kenya.
All good vibes. Thank you.
Before I go, I'd like to know where you going. Last night you bid us farewell on TV.
It's the second time he's asking the question.
Because I'm thinking you probably might just give me a clue.
I will tell you where I'm going if you tell me where Mzeke is right now.
South Africa, I love you so much. I smell your flowers every day wherever I meet you. I'm humbled to just still be alive and waking up in the morning. Everything else is a bonus. I'm grateful to be a father, a present father. I'm an intentional father. I'm a family man. I'm grateful to be a brother that I've been to the nation. And I'm humbled that you guys support all of my businesses, my initiatives, my books, my music, and everything and anything that I come up with. You will never count me as one of those people who will complain about black people not supporting each other, because I am, because you are. I am the reason. And how I feed my family, and for me to have achieved everything I've achieved, it's all because of you. I feel your love and I love you back. That's why I'll continuously do work to empower young people. Thank you so much.
DJ Spoo, thank you so much for dedicating this hour to spend with us on the Friday wind down. That's where we come to the end of the show. We're back with you again Monday morning between 9 and midday. Until then, if you're out on the roads, be safe, and looking forward to being back in your company again. Have a lovely weekend. We leave you with some of the sounds of Tina Ador.
SAFM 104 to 107 nationwide.
Well, it's just after 12 on Friday, the 1st of December 2023. A very warm welcome to Update at Noon here on SAFM. Leading the conversation, I'm Sakina Kamwe.